roll call. We have trustee South,
Here.
trustee White,
Here.
treasurer Warner,
Here.
clerk Lamore, here. And Mr. Ken Warner is not available. He's on the line, but he's not in the meeting this evening. And because of that, we need to have an alternate individual to run the meeting. I, by law, am not allowed to do that, even though I'm clerk. And so we have to put up individual for election to the position for this evening. So would someone would like to
I
select an
nominate
individual?
myself.
Okay.
Do you need a
You're gonna
motion?
get involved in politics?
That is a
now?
motion.
I'll second the
Checking out the
presentation.
computer?
Very good. And all we do is vote on it. It does not have to be a roll call, so we can raise our hands. You want to
You're-
everybody in?
Yeah.
Melissa, you are, as president, the leader of the board.
All right, first on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Do we have agendas for the audience, or?
Yeah, right
They're
here.
right here.
Okay.
I don't need one.
I make a motion to approve the agenda. A second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Approval of the meeting minutes from April 12th, 2023.
Can we have one meeting here, gentlemen, please? Hello, we're having a meeting here, please.
Really?
Okay, approval of the meeting minutes from April 12th, 2023. Do I have a motion and a second?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Okay. I'll second.
Who's seconding?
I am.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Treasurer's report. In the general fund, there is a total of $455,946.93. In the water fund, there is $135,823.74. In the cemetery fund, there is a total of $42,034.27. In the road fund, there is $336,810.63. And the park fund is a total of $27.04.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on that. Trustee White,
Yes.
trustee South,
Yes.
clerk Lamore, yes, and treasurer Warner.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Also with the treasurer's report, I'd like to move some money. The first one is, I'll make the motion to move $20,000 from savings to checking in the general fund.
Can we ask what that money's
And
for?
the other one, is there a second one?
You doing separate? I'm doing them separate. Yeah.
Okay. You can roll call.
Well, you only have a motion, you don't have a second.
I'll second it. Roll call vote. Trustee South,
Yes.
trustee White,
Yes.
clerk Lamore, yes, and treasurer Warner.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
And then in the water fund, I make a motion to move $20,000 from checking to the money market. I will second that.
To the money market, which one? Money market one?
Yeah. The water fund only has one.
No, but you're moving money out of the water fund and you're moving it into the general fund money market?
No.
The water fund money market.
Oh, gotcha.
Checking to
All right,
money
sorry,
market.
guys, I
Yep.
missed that one. Okay. Who made the motion?
Vanessa.
Second? Takes a lot to rattle this stuff down, guys. All right. Need a roll call vote. Clerk Lamore, yes. Trustee South,
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yes.
and Treasurer Warner.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and last one is in the road fund. And I'd like to move $100,000 from checking to the money market.
I will second that.
Okay. Roll call vote. Treasurer Warner,
Yes.
Trustee South,
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yes.
Clerk Lamore, yes. Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm done. Next is payables.
The Elk Country Computer Services, is that for our new website?
That's Mr. Larson.
That's,
Been in
he's our
working
new
on
IT
some-
person.
Alright,
That's him.
so it's for that.
Yep.
So how long before that's gonna be up and going, or is it?
Oh, our well,
So
the
I'm
website.
taking care of everything except for the website.
Yeah.
I do provide website services if you're not happy with yours, but I'm not doing that right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally different.
Our
Okay.
computers are up and running and
Backed up.
backed up because they weren't before, so.
Okay. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
You guys wanna say how much the bills are?
The whole bill is $4,024.82.
A session?
Roll call vote. Trustee White,
Yes.
Trustee South,
Yes.
Treasurer Warner,
Yes.
Clerk Lamore. Yes. Motion passes 4-0.
Next is public comment. Any public comment?
I've got a couple of things.
Sure.
First off, you, on our money markets, what are we getting paid for?
Huh?
Money market account, what are we getting paid as far as interest?
Interest, the water, we're getting about 70, 80 bucks. The road fund is about 100 a month.
But what percent interest are you getting paid?
Off the top of my head, I don't know that.
Okay, I just,
That's why I wanted to put more in the money market so it could drop.
oh, correct, I mean,
Yeah.
I can get clients a CD for 5% and it's like that, 3-month
That's
CD.
restricted money, though. That's
Well-
the problem with that.
But daily money markets are still 3.5%, so just make sure, it's a credit union? We have- Just make sure they're competitive. Because, you see this run on small banks, it's all because they're paying hardly anything and people are getting treasuries at, 3 or 4%.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Courtney would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Courtney, look into that, because you would know. Second thing is we had a work session, and I don't know, Phil, is that a special meeting,
It was a workshop.
workshop? Okay, but it wasn't a normal meeting
No.
on Monday. Went about 2 hours, really productive, because we were able to spitball things and you know, without saying, you know, we're proposing this and people going nuts, we're able to say, what about this, what about that? And we're gonna have 2 more of those sessions, so, I don't know how, I think we've spent 3 or 4 meetings on that, right, Phil? Or we will, by the time it's
At
over?
least that many, yes.
Yeah, but it's very productive.
Awesome.
Good meeting. The other comment is, sorry, Clinton Kennedy isn't here tonight, but, and Phil, you heard this comment. He came out of left field at me and said, who approved the Ace hardware? And I hope you're gonna give them the same trouble you gave the marijuana shop. And I said, it never came to the planning commission. So my question to the board is who approved it, because it's a change of use.
The only thing that needed to be approved on that, literally, was by the administrator, and he signed off on it. Nobody else was involved.
Yeah, well, you guys do the things you want. I'm just telling you best practices. That should have come to the planning commission. It's a change of use. It wouldn't have been an issue, but just the fact that Clinton, and you heard how he attacked me and said, you know, who approved that? And I said, I had no idea.
I don't know that he said that, Mark. I didn't hear that.
Well, Gordon was right between us.
If Gordon heard it, Gordon's not here to say that he approved it either, so.
Well, he didn't say.
I don't know. The only question is who approved it, and it was done by the administrator. And number 2, with regards to that, I'm relatively sure the reason he did it was because it used to be a lumber yard and hardware store for years and years and years.
Right.
Prior to it being whatever was being after that. And also that O-Town already approves hardware stores. There's nothing there that we could have changed to make it illegal per se.
Well-
Yeah, they have a right to be in that location. They are in that location. I don't foresee any problems there.
You know what, and Phil, I don't either, but it's a change of use, is all I'm
Change
saying.
of use does not have to go to the planning commission.
Oh,
You know
well,
what I mean?
you can handle administratively, typically it isn't, but my
Yes,
point is,
right.
why was Clinton so unbent about who approved that?
I'm sorry?
Why was Clinton so, you know,
Ask Clinton.
I don't know that Clinton said that even. I didn't hear it.
you were there, Phil.
I might have been there. It doesn't mean I heard him say that,
Okay.
Mark.
You need
Selective
you need to
memory.
ask him.
There's no argument here. We're not gonna argue about it.
I'm not arguing, I'm just asking questions.
Okay,
Don't
so-
bring it to the table then, please. All you're doing is
Is-
creating an argument.
No, I'm asking questions.
All right, so if it's a problem with Clint, I would get a hold of Clint.
Yeah, I wish he was here tonight, so he could,
Well, we're,
'Cause he seemed to-
we're meeting, we're not arguing,
Right.
so.
Yeah, it's a
It's
comment,
fine.
not
what's
question and
public
answer.
it's, yeah, it's a comment. I'm just giving you a comment.
Yep, and so, anything else?
Nope.
Anybody else have any other public comment?
Well, I actually have a question. What is the plan for putting the flags up on the gravestones at the cemetery for Memorial Day?
That's done from the VA gentleman, or not the VA.
Well, usually, it's done a community event. Because
No.
usually, in almost every other community in the state.
VFW
the
normally
veterans
puts them out, but they're not
organizations
here
need to be involved
anymore.
in that, and as a member of the American Legion,
Get a hold of the
Mike.
Veterans Affairs over at the courthouse, and he will get you information.
VSO.
There's no reason why you can't be involved in it.
well, what I was really wondering is, how many, do we have enough flags? I mean, because that is a township issue. I know last year we looked at possibly getting flags, and some of the requests that were put in were, quite frankly, astounding. I'm the agent for the local post.
They had flags that we're aware of that had more than enough flags and holders.
And I understand that it wasn't just Bradley Township that put it in,
Yeah.
but there were 3 townships that came to us and
Yeah.
they asked for like $2,000 worth of flags, and
Yeah.
that's a whole lot of, because you get the small flags, American flags, the American Legion, we can get American-made, American flags pretty much cheaper than anybody else. We have the ability. And that's one of the things we would actually like to do. It's not something we can make a profit on, but it's something we can actually provide all the township, all the county, the flags for your office buildings and all that.
Yeah. Traditionally, we have always gotten them from the county, and that comes from the
But I don't know who Mike buys them through.
He's the only one I know of. We get them from him.
Yep, we'll have to talk to Mike
His
about
decision.
that. Because he's also a member of the Post, so that's
Yes.
not a problem.
Okay.
I was just wondering if there had been anything, because I hadn't seen it in the paper, and normally that's something that is publicized a little bit, so
And
that,
that,
And that's coming up too. All right, any more public comment? Okay. Down and old business, downtown discussion. Anybody have downtown discussion?
no, I have nothing on downtown discussion for this group.
Okay, just go ahead and defer it.
Defer it, please.
Cell phone tower, we're gonna defer
Ken's
that.
not here, we should defer, yep.
Mhm. Backhoe attachment, that was also Ken. All right, new business. Wave park rental fee. And this is for the American Legion?
That's for the American Legion.
Correct. As the post commander for the American Legion, we have put on, I think you guys remember, a couple of years ago, we put on the Vet Fest. And last year, we really didn't do it because of, still coming up with COVID and all this, and we want to do it again. And part of the thing is, we're not doing this as a fundraiser or anything else. In fact, it usually costs us money. And so we're requesting the waiver of the park fees for the township to help support the veterans.
What are the dates on that?
August 19th. Currently, we have Representative Cam Cabot scheduled to be a keynote speaker. We will also have we are planning a musical, he's a tribute artist who is a veteran himself, does Toby Keith, country, rockabilly that evening. We're looking tentatively at 10 to 10 for the hours. We're still trying to get everything lined up.
Is it just the one day?
It's just gonna be the one day, Saturday, August 19th.
I would like to make a motion to waive the rental fees for this event.
This is one of the problems that we spoke to Clint about, and we wanted to do this for the American, for the chamber.
I'll second so we can discuss it.
Okay. But that's the issue that we had there. And what we tried to think, are you gonna be using the pavilion?
Most likely.
Okay.
Most likely, looking at let me see the application. As near as I can guess, what we're hoping for a turnout, we would need the pavilion without the kitchen. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's something we actually have to discuss, because one of the things we were looking at doing, making a community event, getting the one-day license from the health department, so we could sell hot dogs, burgers, stuff like that. Because we are having speakers in that, and we will most likely need the pedestal for the sound system. So most likely, we will basically need park pavilion with access to the kitchen. We won't need to cook anything in there, but just as storage space. And the 150 amp pedestal, which would be, I mean, it's only a $75 rental fee for a resident, so it's not gonna break us if we don't get it waived. But as Mr. Bradley, our commander, stated, we're not looking to make money on this. We don't make money anyway. Any money we bring in, we're gonna look and find a way to put it back out in the community as soon as possible.
Sure.
And we are also members of the Chamber of Commerce, and I don't know what they are requesting waivers for.
They just did one. They did a waiver on, was it for the Elk Fest? Well, I think it was the Elk
Yeah.
Fest. Which we really didn't waive.
I can
We're gonna pay
completely-
the electrical, and they're gonna pay for the water usage.
Well, we would be willing, I mean, we'll pay for reasonable fees, we have no problem with that.
Mhm.
We have no problem if a security deposit is requested.
Okay. security deposit. Well, we can't do one thing for one and not for the other, so we have to do some kind of a fee. We can't waive all fees, otherwise it would be,
Everyone's gonna be wanting all fees waived.
that's exactly right. You can't do that. So,
So what exactly is a waterfront pavilion? Is that the little pagoda place?
Be the two pavilions, the open
Okay.
air and then the pavilion. I would assume that's what they mean by waterfront.
Okay.
Yeah, the open air one.
we got the larger one of the two that has
The
the
one
one
with
that
the
has the
kitchen.
kitchen and so on, and the other one is an open air pavilion that generally band would be in, or
Okay.
someone with a podium would be in, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand. If you're not willing to waive them for the Chamber of Commerce, completely, then
Yeah, we can't give it away. We can do something here, and it's up to the board what they choose, but
I would love to see us be able to give back to groups like this that are doing
Right.
things like this. I agree, keeping it the same for everyone's great. But I would love to do something. What did we decide on for the chamber? Wasn't it $1 security deposit?
Yep.
That's something else.
Okay, I know it was
They're
water and
going
electric.
to take care of the water and electric. This
Mhm.
is a one-day event, and I don't think that, it would be that easy to figure out how much
How
water,
much,
how much.
yeah.
So I will rescind my motion and I will donate the rental fee.
You will?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
okay. So, we still need to have a vote on this, and you can still, with your motion, donate.
Okay.
And Vanessa, do you want a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Trustee White,
Yes.
Clerk Lamore, yes. Treasurer Warner,
Yes.
Trustee Sal,
Yes.
passes 4-0.
Okay, good. Next is Elk Country Friendship Gardeners.
Okay, I feel like I know everyone pretty well. I'm Nancy Dextrom. This is my second year as the president of our organization. And we have appreciated the rewards that you have given as we've making improvements every year. Last year, we took care of the north side of your property and the building. And we sort of thought, well, we wished we could do something on the west side. So with the additional monies that you've budgeted this year, I think we'll take a stab at the west side. It needs something, and we thought about that last year. Last year, we just covered it with mulch. Didn't do too much. But anyway, we are cleaning up our Atlanta Spring cleanup, and bake sale will be the Saturday before Memorial Day. And that's when we clean all the beds up and everything. The week after that, all of those wooden cedar containers, we're going to refurbish them this year.
Nice.
Some of the slats are missing on the bottom, some are, they're badly in need of repair. So we procrastinated on that, because it's gonna be a big job. So we're gonna trailer those things over to my house, and we're gonna, power wash them and, get them fixed up with some help of friends in the neighborhood, in the area. And hopefully they'll last for a couple more years, but they eventually are gonna need replacement. I don't know how old they are, but they are old. So anyway, we do have a good organization. We have a very committed group of people. You know, you see them. This year you're going to see some advertising on their backs, because we've gotten some aprons in big letters that say Elk Country Friendship Gardeners, because no one ever knew who was doing what downtown. And it's made a big difference in giving us some publicity. We get the rewards when people honk and say, good job. And the people are just so dedicated. My gosh, You know, we're watering 3 times a week, we're weeding, we're taking care of the vacant buildings, the flower boxes where no one attends. So just trying to keep the place clean, and we just tackle one thing at a time. We met with the library, or not, the post office this Monday, and they want some help. They want to get some decoration on underneath the sign that says US Post Office. So we always have more needs than we can fill. However, we've gotten about a half a dozen new members this year. So that may allow us to do more things.
Very nice.
Any questions?
Is this event, do you need volunteers?
We're gonna be at the chamber parking lot.
Do you have enough help though? Do you need volunteers for this day?
The park can always use volunteers. Clean up, if you have a rake or a shovel,
Bring it.
that 6 acres is a big area.
Okay.
And with all the leaves that accumulate in the perennial beds and everything, that would be the biggest draw.
Yep. I agree. I like it.
Any other questions?
Nope, thank you, Nancy.
Okay, you're welcome. We start planting the 9th of June, and I will let the Lindsay and the Department of Public Works know that they can turn on the irrigation systems on the in-ground planters on that day.
What was the date again?
June 9th is planting day, but that following Monday on the 12th is when we want to start watering.
Okay,
So,
got it.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Somebody's trying to chat a bunch on the Zoom. I don't know if you guys take chats from that.
Oh, we typically don't.
I think it's Susan, I just can't read what she's saying.
Down in the chat box.
Here, you got better eyesight, I can't see that.
Did they wave their hand?
No, it was in the chat box.
Oh, they can chat in between each other on the Zoom thing. Doesn't mean that she wants to chat here.
That could be in the chat.
Oh,
box.
my
You never
mistake
see
then.
it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Would you like me to read it?
Nope. You're good.
Alrighty, next is Elk Country Computer Services Antivirus and Service Agreement. We got a new IT person, Mr. Jake over there, and he's done a lot. We come to find out our computers were not getting backed up. And if we lost anything, it would have been horrific. So,
Mhm.
he's in, and now he has anti-protection that we are gonna need, so I'll let you take it over from there.
Yeah, thank you, Vanessa. So I've had for those of you who I haven't met, Jake Larson, owner of Elk Country Computer Services. I timed my walk here and it was 7.5 minutes, so I live pretty close. I know you guys have had some IT that's pretty far away. I live right behind Atlanta Bible Church. I started working here on the computers and the various issues a couple of weeks ago. Since then, we've determined some issues with the battery backup. Some of the computers weren't getting backed up. Vanessa and Lindsay had computers that were older and had a bunch of viruses on them. So we got new computers in there for both of them. You guys had already purchased those, but I went ahead and set it up and moved everything over. So we are in a lot better place right now than we were just a couple weeks ago. There are a couple recommendations that I have. The first thing, which is important but not super urgent, is the battery backup over here to my right. So as you can see, some of you could probably see it, it took a bit of a tumble and it is broken. Basically what the battery backup does is if you have a power outage here, it's going to hold power and let the server gracefully shut down instead of just getting the power yanked from it. I can't get an exact price from Amazon, but it looks like that would be about $150 to $200 for the same model to get it replaced. But again, that one seems like it's working, it's just super banged up. In addition, Vanessa, is that the PC vaccine sheet you got there? Because I have another one here. This is what I would recommend for protection on the computers. So what this program is called is the PC vaccine. What it does is it will run a weekly scan on any computers it is on. It will also run a real-time scan anytime a file is downloaded, an email is opened, anytime you go to a new website. Whatever files are brought onto any computer here at the township office, it'll be taken care of. Most importantly, if it finds any virus, it will actually send me a report right up the street, dashboard that I check every day for my customers, and it will let me know if it finds anything. So even though it already blocks everything fine, I will reach out and let the township know if I find anything that's worth noting. It is worth noting that I have this for about 300 computers at this point in over 2 years in the Atlanta, Lewiston, Hillman area, and nobody's gotten a virus with it. It's much better, higher quality than McAfee, than Norton. So pricing for this, there's an $8 and a $10 a month plan, depending on what computers you got it on. It's roughly 10 computers here at the township. I think the election one is not as important because it's never on the internet for getting antivirus, but it would be probably $80 to $100 a month. On top of that, that would also give me the option to help you guys remotely. So I know availability is very important to you guys here at the township, getting people who can help you quickly if you have an IT problem. I do try to always be available within a week, but obviously sometimes my schedule does fill up, and if you do have this, I have the option to help you guys remotely and get you in sooner. And then on top of that, my labor rate right now is currently $100 first hour, $60 after that. Anytime I help remotely, it's just a 60 flat rate per hour, so you do save $40 anytime I can help you remotely. So that's what I recommend. I'll give this back to you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
So it would be the PC vaccine and the battery backup that I currently recommend as the first steps here in the technology here.
I have a question from being an ex-IT person myself.
Sure.
What did they have before?
For virus protection?
Virus protection?
No virus protection.
Unbelievable.
We're
Scary, it was really scary.
Yeah.
Well, with what we deal with, especially me and Lindsay being connected to the bank.
I mean, it is at the point, where a virus does get through and delete files, you guys could be out, all the stuff on the Denali Mountain software that Lindsay uses, all of the payroll, all of the accounting, could lose quite a bit of stuff. So the most important thing is we got that backup running again. There were backups, they were not running. They hadn't been backed up in a year or so, or more. So I started those running, and then the virus is like the second most really, really urgent thing to do.
Can that virus attack the backup?
No, the backup is a simple Windows copy thing, so it's not going to see that as a virus.
Does it prevent them from downloading malicious
So what do you guys
hardware that
think?
would encrypt either the PC or the server?
That they stopped talking.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Jake, this $100 a month, so if we need you, we still pay an on-site IT?
Right, yeah, so that's for protection of the
This is
computers,
just- okay.
and that's for me keeping an eye on everything that's going
Okay,
on.
but then you get alerted, you'd let us know you need to come in and work on something.
No, so anytime I alert you guys, it wouldn't be like, hey, there was a virus, I found it, I need to come out and charge you again. It would just be, hey, I saw this thing, wherever this source came from, or like I see it was this type of virus, usually that comes from this source, let's whatever it is that I need to help you with for a few minutes, I don't charge for.
Okay,
If you have an issue here at the office, that thing would be alerting me about viruses and blocking them. The problems you have here at the office would be other kinds of problems,
Okay.
and so that would be kind of unrelated.
gotcha.
And you,
Mhm.
okay. So we're looking at up to $200 on a battery backup, and we're looking at $100 a month for the devices and the antivirus issue. So it's about $1,200 for that, plus up to 200 for the battery backup. So you wanna
What about if you took over the web page?
I have
We
not
just-
discussed that with anybody.
We just did a contract with somebody on our webpage to have a new one, so.
Yeah, they definitely need help with it.
Right, just this.
Right.
Yeah. So we need to separate this and put one on the part itself, the battery backup, and the other is a service that we're actually doing on a monthly basis.
Well, I see the antivirus is like a non-negotiable. I
Right,
mean,
no,
we need to get,
we have to have that.
yeah,
I don't know how that could have fell through the,
If I could interject too, there were, and this is not the fault of Vanessa or Lindsay, both of those computers did have viruses on them, some infected files, and that's just the nature of like what happens when you use the computer.
absolutely.
So it's not
But
like
we-
a poor use thing. Before I had this, I've had viruses myself before I got this together. So it is worth noting that there were some on there. Thankfully, not the type that encrypts all your files, holds stuff for ransom, but there were some annoying pop-ups and some lesser viruses on both of those.
It just, with all the money that we paid for computer support, it
Yeah.
floors me that nobody noticed that wasn't on there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the municipalities, hospitals, other public places are ideal areas where they'll encrypt. I mean, the whole power outage with nat gas, the Colonial Pipeline, was something that encrypted their data. And they use ransomware, and until you pay it, you know, you don't get it. So it could literally shut you down.
I've heard that happening, so.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we, I would really like to do the monitoring plus AV, that's $10 per device.
I would second that motion.
Roll call vote. Moore, yes. Trustee South,
Yes.
trustee White, and treasurer Warner.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0. And the battery backup?
I would think with the investment we've done so far in getting the computers, backing this thing up for $150 would be the final step and worth it. So I'd make a motion to buy a new battery backup for just $200.
Okay. Okay, have a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee White,
Yes.
trustee South,
Yes.
treasurer Warner,
Yes.
clerk Moore, yes. Motion passes 4-0.
Thanks, Julie.
Yeah.
You're all set, Jake.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Very much.
Me too. All right, next is Davis Park concession door. They thought they were gonna have to replace it, but our DPW was able to come in and diamond plate both sides of it, so I put the working order and saved us quite a bit of money.
So there's nothing else to discuss on the door?
Not really, that's what I was told.
I know DPW is also putting together, or has already painted and fixed up 5 picnic tables.
Yes.
They're gonna be down at the ball field for opening day, so that'll be a good thing as well. There'll be a lot of people that don't know where to sit, so they'll be
Yeah.
happy to have some places to sit.
Sure
Okay.
would.
Yep.
Next is rec area signage. We were having some people tell us that people were zooming the wrong way past their house, thinking it was the rec area and it wasn't. So we're looking at getting signs showing where the rec area is. But we have to get a hold of the road commission, and the lady that usually helps us has been out of the office, so maybe we'll get her tomorrow, if not Monday. So it's about where we're at with that.
Yeah, the only thing we have, there's gonna be 2 signs though. One's gonna be down right in the curve on Pettinger as you make a left turn going north. There'll be a sign there with an arrow pointing to the north, so people will know they should make the turn and not go over to the house or the well. So that's the first sign. The second sign will be a straight arrow that'll be up at the end of Pettinger Road, just before you cross on to the wreck property. And then you'll show an arrow, a straight arrow. That one is not in the right-of-way of the township. She told me this this afternoon. Not in the right-of-way for the road commission. So this is on our property. And because it's on our property, there's a $70 charge to do this. Not sure where that's gonna stand, but it might be up to $70, just so the board knows. But we need to get this probably no later than the May meeting, so we do have it, I think, covered at that point, and those signs can be erected.
Yeah, we should have something by next meeting, I would think.
I think so too.
Defer?
Defer.
Yep.
Next is attorney letter. You have which attorney letter was, there was a FOIA request for?
Yeah. This was an attorney letter that was dated to the Township Board on March 22nd of 2023. It was an attorney-client privilege letter stipulated by the attorney that wrote it, which is our township attorney, and only he and/or the township board can release this because of that. So we have before us something we need to make a decision on, whether we're going to release that letter or to withhold it. Is there any discussion on it?
I personally don't see a problem releasing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have, you wanna make that motion that we do release it?
I'll make the motion that we release the
Is there
attorney
a-
letter of,
The date on it,
yeah,
this specific letter.
Yeah,
yeah.
only
Yeah.
this, only this
Yes.
letter.
Yeah.
And it won't pertain to anything prior to or thereafter.
So letter dated what?
3/22 of 23.
22.
I think we should say in the motion to waive attorney-client privilege
Yeah.
on letter dated 3/22.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Roll call vote.
I'll second that too.
You already did.
Oh, sorry. I'll second it again.
Trustee South,
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yes.
Treasurer Werner,
Yes.
Clerk Lamore, yes. Motion passes.
All right, Court Street and Park Street, I think this was just an informational. There was some survey issues that we were addressed on, but there's nothing us, the township, can do. It's only road commission. The road commission is gonna have to abandon it, and then it goes to the state, but there's nothing we can really do for it.
I agree. All we can do is let them hash it out. It really is something where the extension of Court Street was developed and should have been down through that area. It never was really developed as a street. And the building was erected, which projects out over that piece of land. It's not for us to decide. That should between the property owners and the road commission. And once they've made a decision on which way to go, if we have to be involved, we will. Otherwise, they handle it themselves. Yep.
So that's just information.
Yep.
And then Mike Schwartz, 90-day review, that's gonna be deferred until our supervisor comes back.
Actually, it's already been done. It was done by DPW and the township supervisor and Mike in a meeting with the DPW and Mike the other day.
Yes, and he has, there's some things that he wants to talk about, but that's it, so
Okay.
So deferred.
defer.
This is who wanted to talk.
Supervisor, Mr. Ken Warner,
Okay.
I think he just wanted to discuss pay as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Next is board statements. You went to chamber last time, didn't you?
Yeah, I talked about chamber last meeting. We are wrapping up the CDBG grant. It's due this Friday. We have everything done. We just need to put it all together and try to attach 1 million attachments to this huge email file and get it into their hands tomorrow. So we'll be a day early, but feeling confident, so just everyone cross fingers and we're hopeful. And then we heard with Spark that they have announced that they're opening up round 2, and that goes through June 1st. So we're gonna get to work on that one from here.
I got my toes crossed for you guys.
Thank you. Please keep them crossed.
I gotta say, you guys did a lot, and I know it came right down to the wire with some things that needed to be done
Yes.
even today.
A lot of people and places that need to sign off on this and, you know, speak on our behalf as advocates. So we have the Disability Network trying to certify our rendering, that this will be an ADA accessible property across the board now.
Right.
So, yeah, we feel good about it. I don't know how many people are applying. We have no idea. Only 149 are eligible to apply, so we shall see. But if this isn't it, we're gonna go for more, so.
Yeah, but you guys were only
Yeah.
supposed to, You guys were only supposed to put in drawings, and you actually went
Oh,
a
goodness.
step further
Yeah.
and did all the
Above and
photo
beyond.
I
work.
reached out to the community and had several people offer to take aerial drone photos for us, which was awesome because those are helpful in trying to do rendering and site plans, but yeah, you should see all the attachments that come with this. Their application was extensive.
Yeah, and those renderings alone, had we had to pay for
Yeah.
them, would have been $7,000.
Yeah, our quote was
Yeah.
$7,000 for those, so we did those on our own. Lindsay put a lot of work into that and they turned out really,
As did you.
really good.
You
Yeah.
guys did a great job.
She's
Really
the
did.
tech savvy one though. I'm just the, let's put this here.
Yeah. You did well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That's what she did on our conference,
Yeah.
trying to
We
do
stayed
that
up
stuff.
on Zoom till like 10:30 at night after she was in conference all day and I had worked all day working on this together and our narrative and.
I watched the last meeting via Zoom and, you know, girl power, right, or woman power.
Thanks.
You
Yeah.
guys did a
It's
great
been a
job.
team effort. We have Nancy,
Yeah.
we have Kelly, Mary, goodness. But, you know, it's exciting that these opportunities are out there because I'm anxious to apply for more. I mean, I think this is something that's been overlooked for a while and obviously we need the funding.
And with
Save some work.
I
with-
know.
Copy and paste.
And with
I know.
government, it's all about process and dotting the i's and crossing the t's. And it's tedious, but if you don't do it, you don't
Yeah.
have a shot.
This is my first go around with it, so I've
Yeah.
learned a lot.
I think we all have.
Yes, yes.
Well, you guys are doing awesome. I was at the airport board, and we are waiting on the state to finish up a contract to try and purchase our next parcel. Other than that, that's it.
I was at the ambulance board. We talked about the May 2nd vote, for the ballot for the millage. This is the first millage that's been asked for by the township, by the tri-township ambulance in almost 20 years, they think.
Wow.
Currently with the increase in prices for supplies and fuel and, you know, just everything's gone up. The concern is that if there's, could run out of money and could, possibly not have the services available, in the way that we need to have them available for the township, or the tribe. So, we really wanna push it out there that May 2nd is that vote. It is so important that if we want these emergency services, we need to really let people know that we're in jeopardy. Costs keep going up, we're bleeding out with, employees because we can't offer them competitive wages. You can go to McDonald's and earn more as a service worker there than you can as an EMT here. And, we really need to keep that in mind, so that was the big topic of discussion. So May 2nd is the vote. Please support our services.
Just so I understand, and I agree with you, it should go to the people. Is it just for the vehicle, or is it for the staff to go with the vehicle, the millage?
You've lost me there, excuse me.
Okay, so you're talking about, you need this vehicle, correct?
What vehicle?
I thought that's what the millage is. Is it just about a millage for additional EMT people?
No, the millage is for operational costs for Tri-Township Ambulance. And so it is costs across the board. It's to help keep our service.
So,
It is for equipment, it is for vehicles, it's for staffing, it is for overhead, it is for everything, that money is needed.
yeah, thanks for clarifying.
And I got to go to the planning commission meeting, which this month was a really good meeting. We worked with Denise, this past meeting, and, it was not really a meeting, it was a workshop. And in that workshop, we covered a lot of what they call Article 4. Article 4 is in fact a guideline for what types of businesses, what type of residents, everything. Where is it go in our township? What zoning is it allowed to be in? And that's really critical when you start working on a town. And just like Mark was bringing up Ace Hardware as a large building, well, it is. And if I would've looked at it back in the day, I would've probably said no, but it is allowed, and it was something we had to do. This new and hopefully improved thing that we're working on now would probably stop that. There would be no such building in town after this one, and that would be in Old Town itself. What we're looking at here are smaller businesses, something that draws people on a regular basis, whether they be local residents or whether they be tourists coming to town to create excitement in Atlanta. So those revenue dollars can be increased here for the vital services that we do need in our community. So that was important, and we're looking at what is an occurring thing and allowed in some areas that may no longer be allowed in those areas, because there are different issues over many years that have changed the dynamics of Atlanta as to what should be and shouldn't be in a given area. So we're looking at changing maybe what is, but you'd be grandfathered if in fact you're already here in those locations. In the future, you may not have that business in that area, might not be available. So these are things that really, when you're looking at a planning commission doing something for Atlanta and the things we're discussing now, I'd like to see a lot of persons in the audience at the meetings. And the reason for it, that's helping set the dynamics of what will and won't be in our township, and what will and won't be allowed in certain areas of our township. And our guys, I gotta tell you, it's critical, it's hard to do. We went over 2 sections of this thing, is all we got through during that 2-hour meeting. And it's that critical. You really have to examine every definition of everything that possibly could be put in here, and how it fits and works in or doesn't. So it's actually building Atlanta, the future of Atlanta, right now in these meetings that we're having. So if you have an interest in anything in Atlanta that you want or don't want in certain areas, these are the meetings you want to come to. And we have our next meeting, what, the 10th of May?
Right.
10th of May is the next meeting at 6 o'clock right here in this room. And it'll also be on Zoom.
Our
This is
board
regular
meeting is May 10th.
Okay. So you probably won't be here.
This
Could I
board
interject
meeting is
something
May
here right
10th.
now as far as the Ace Hardware?
Maybe it's the
Hang on.
8th. It's the
Hold
8th.
on.
Yeah.
It's the 8th.
Mondays,
I'm
right?
sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah, that's 8.
It's on the 8th,
Yeah.
not the
Okay.
10th. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
we're like, uh-oh, schedule.
Yeah, the 8th, not the 10th. So, please do come to those meetings, they are critical, they're important, and if you want to help develop the town and the community, this is a meeting you need to attend.
Okay.
Vanessa,
Well,
you had somebody on the Zoom wanting to
There's
talk.
public comments coming up.
yep, we are moving on to public comment, and it sounded like Dan, you have something?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, you?
Good, Dan.
I was gonna make a comment about the Ace Hardware there. I don't know if everybody on the board, knows about the history of that actual building. But that actually used to be Doty Lumber, and then it was Saks Hardware. It burnt down back in, I think the late 70s, early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And actually that building, when they were rebuilding it, the trusses actually fell over one night.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, as a little kid, I watched that building burn, same with the Atlanta Motel. The board to think about is, possibly go back and look at some of the old pictures of this town. Look what Gaylord's done with their, street improvements, the way that the buildings have to be, you know, they have a theme over there. Well, you know, Atlanta was a great town back in the 70s, until Essex Wire closed, and then a lot of the good people, you know, really good people that were here had to leave because they had no job. Maybe you look back and look at some of those pictures, maybe try to talk to businesses to be able to get them to renovate it to look like it was back through the 40s, 50s, and 60s. make this town look like what it used to be. And, you know, as we see through history, we see a lot of going retroactive on how everything looks. And this used to be a beautiful town when I was growing up here as a little kid. And getting these businesses in, maybe, you know, say, hey, we need to make this look like it used to be.
Yep.
And allow some of these businesses to come back in and make them flourish. Give those businesses the opportunity, because we need more businesses in here,
You're right.
to give more jobs. And this town, and, you know, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but there's a lot of people that were not born and raised here that don't know what this town was like back in my younger days. And this was a great place. It was literally a great place to grow up. And I would love to see this town get that vibrancy that it had back in those days. It was a great place. It really was.
That's what I've been told.
And what's happened? What has happened is when Essex Wire closed down, which, does anyone on the board know why Essex Wire closed down back in the late 70s, early 80s? But does anybody know why that closed down?
Are you
Union.
asking us, or do you know?
I don't know.
Oh, I know. I was asking
well,
you, does anyone actually know?
My
I
understanding
have
is
a
they took
version.
it, my understanding was they took it to another state.
But why did they take it to another state?
Union.
Union.
Yep.
The union came in and bombarded all of the employees to try to get them to vote the union in.
And you're gonna
And-
lose every business, every small business you have in northern Michigan now, because the governor just did away with right to work. Brought the union back.
We need to stay on this.
Well, and so anyways, once that union come in, and I witnessed this, and I was 10 years old. Literally within 6 months, more than half of this town moved away. Literally, that quick. My grandmother, she had worked at Essex Wire for 30 years. My mother worked there. They all lost their jobs. My Uncle Dave Forstner was the only one that I knew of that kept his job because they moved his line down to Mississippi. He ended up retiring for the same company down in Mississippi.
Oh, man.
But it was because of the union. And they fed them saying, oh, we're gonna do this for you, that for you. Well, it didn't happen. Company closed, they moved half of it, or the majority to Mexico. But so we need to do things to get businesses, we need to attract them here, give them reasons why Atlanta's gonna be a good place. That we're not gonna restrict you, we're gonna give you benefits to get you here. And promote this town the way it should be.
Yep.
Well, that is a lot of things exactly like that being discussed to some degree right now in the planning commission. It's also being discussed in our downtown development, it's being discussed by the Chamber of Commerce. A lot of people are involved in this at this point, and everybody, I think, agrees with you in the fact that we need to upgrade it and get people back in here, get stores in here and get some excitement going in Atlanta. We're all on the same tact. It's a question really of what do you want here, so please come to that meeting.
Yeah, and like I say, a lot of it is not restricting businesses from where they can and can't be. We just need businesses. There used to be a gas station on just about every corner in this town. Right now, we have 2.
3.
Well, all 3, yeah, because of the grocery store, yeah. But it used to be, there was gas station, convenience stores everywhere, but there was the people here to sustain all of those businesses. And they all did well until Essex Wire closed, and then all the people left, and then became unsustainable, and they all closed down over the years, so.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in the planning commission meeting?
I plan on it,
Good man.
absolutely, always have been. I care about this town, because, like I say, I was born and raised here, and this town means a lot to me.
But